Hi, this is Dr. Todd Kays. Welcome to the video here, and I'm really excited about this series that I'm about to do over the next maybe 8 to 10 videos, 8 to 10 podcasts, and it's really, I was thinking about taking a very unique approach, because there's so much out there on mental coaching and sports psychology, and you know, much of it is good, but at the same time, what I continue to hear is that people aren't progressing. And so I thought, you know, I want to take a different approach and just see what results we get. Because one of the things that if you work with me, you know that I am constantly talking about a growth mindset. And a growth mindset is simply allowing yourself to continue to learn, to continue to be curious, continue to challenge the status quo. Because particularly in golf and in any athletic endeavor, tennis, football, it does not matter. It's when we keep doing the things that aren't working and we don't change anything, then we're going to keep getting the same results. In fact, that's, you know, sometimes you've probably heard the saying, the definition of insanity is to do the same thing and expect different results. And so one of the things I want to do is, believe it or not, is I want to take everything I've learned over the years, sometimes working directly with some of my athletes or student athletes who have struggled with addiction. Now you might think, what the heck does addiction have to do with my golf performance or my tennis performance? Well, you know, if you look at the 12 steps, there's only one step out of the 12 that actually mention, let's say, alcohol, let's say narcotics, let's say some other drug of choice, as they say, and it's the first step. The other 11 are simply about success in life. And I've advocated many times that people, if you want to be your best golfer, if you want to be your best athlete, read the 12 steps, because they're really simply principles of success. And so many people who I know are not struggling with an addiction, they really study the 12 steps because it's a principle of success. And there are certain principles of success you can't argue with. You may not like them, they may be hard, they may be challenging, okay? And they may even sometimes be painful to go through, but they work. And always remember, there's a difference between pain and suffering. Pain is inevitable. We all have it. If we're on the golf course and we have an opportunity to win the state tournament, we have an opportunity to make the cut for the first time, maybe on the tour, we have the opportunity to win on the tour for the first time, or win our first collegiate event, and we don't, okay? That's pain, okay? That is pain. But suffering is different. Suffering is optional. And suffering is simply when your inner critic gets involved and you beat yourself up. And the inner critic is extremely powerful. Okay, so I want you to really know that, you know, this is very important. And a lot of these concepts, you know, the whole idea of the 12 steps actually was back, you know, in the 1930s, 1940s, where it even was kind of talked about, and it's still around, still very strong. And that's when I thought, I'm going to do a whole series, because it's principles of success. And they're going to make you, you know, a better golfer, a better tennis player, whatever the case might be. So let's begin with the first one. And there's an acronym. Now, I'm not even exactly sure if this came from the 12 steps or not, or somebody else, but certainly it's talked about in 12 steps. And it's an acronym for FEAR. Okay, now if you're a golfer, you know fear. Because I know you know it, because 80%, 85%, I would say, over the last 20 years of golfers struggle because of fear. Fear of disappointing, fear of making a mistake, fear of letting people down, fear of not accomplishing what they want to accomplish, fear of losing, fear of looking embarrassed. All of these things are based in fear, okay? And so we have this fear in our mind. Well, fear, our thoughts, which you have control over, go directly to your brain. Your brain then sends them to your body. Well, how is your body going to react? Tension, racing thoughts, or frozen. You're just going to freeze like a deer in the headlights. Increased heart rate. Now, it's going to be very hard to swing a golf club with fluid motion. It's going to be hard to see the line on a green because you got so much noise in your head. I frequently say that when you have so much noise, when you have so much fear, it's like me giving you a patch, and I'm going to say, wear a patch while you're playing golf. Because that's how much your mind is blocking your ability. So to get back to this acronym for fear, it's false evidence appearing real. Now, so many times when you're on the golf course, tennis court, basketball court, it doesn't matter because although I direct these to a lot of golfers, this has to do with every single sport imaginable. From cricket to judo to diving to any sport that you can think of. But false evidence appearing real. Okay, so let's take an example. And I can give you hundreds of examples. I can bring in every single one of my literally thousands of clients over the years, thousands of students over the years, and they can give you multiple incidents where they experienced false evidence appearing real. So let's take golf. So somebody says, okay, they're nervous, they're afraid, they're tight even before they step on the golf course. Why? Because they have in their mind that if I don't score well, I'm going to disappoint someone. If I don't score well, this coach will never ask me to come on campus. If I don't score well, my parents are going to disown me. If I don't score well, my teammates are going to be really upset. If I don't score well or miss this 1 3-foot birdie putt, my world is going to be over. I'm going to get kicked off the team. I'm going to lose my scholarship. All kinds of things. Okay, we create these stories. You want to begin to slow down because most of those stories are not true. They are simply not true. It's false evidence appearing real. But fear, as a golfer, as you know, blocks so much. It is the #1 emotion caused not by circumstances, but by ourselves. If you're staring down a 6-foot putt and you have fear, that's on you. It's a 6-foot putt. What you say and the story you create is that if I miss this 6-foot putt to make the cut, for example, and one of my mini tour players recently said this, I might as well give up the game. 1 6-foot putt. Now, yes, it was an important putt. I'm not diminishing the importance of it because I wanted him to make the cut. Obviously, he wanted to make the cut, and ultimately it turned out well. But he was aware because we had talked about it. He knew over the putt he felt fear. His grip was tight. He just didn't feel comfortable. He couldn't see the line. And what he did was 3 things. He stepped back and he breathed. Slowly. He walked slowly back to look at the putt again. Not because he didn't know the line, because he knew the line, but to slow his heart rate down. And then he thought, when he was looking at the putt again, he told me, wait a minute. If I make it, if I miss it, it's not the end of the world. And it brought a calm over him. because he knew all of the things going on in his subconscious. Fortunately, he was able to bring him to the conscious. And he said, oh, that's that thing Doc talked about. False evidence appearing real. He described a calmness over that 6-foot putt and just knocked it to the back of the cup. Actually made the cut by 1 stroke. Actually had so much confidence, I believe, because of that 1 putt, gave him some momentum that he finished in the top 10 on that weekend, which was tied for a second best. So he's on his way. But again, remember, false evidence appearing real. That's what fear is. Now, if there was a wild animal that ran out onto the golf course, okay, sure, that's not false evidence appearing real. That means get your butt moving and get a club out just in case it attacks you. Okay, that's real. But most of what you are creating in your mind is just simply a story that's creating a stress in your body, that's dropping your skill level. That's not dropping your skill level, you're performing below your skill level. So remember that. Be intentional about it. Be aware of it and act on it. If you know that there's false evidence appearing real, anytime you're feeling fear, stop and think. Breathe, slow down, and ask yourself, is this false evidence appearing real? This is Dr. Todd Kays. If you want more, go onto my website, drtoddkays.com or drtoddkaysgolf.com. We have plenty more opportunities, programs, and all kinds of things coming up that we're really excited about. I hope you enjoyed today and learned one thing. Keep watching because there's going to be lots of good stuff here in the next few weeks. I'll see you next time.